Yep.
Okay, hey everyone, welcome to Video Game Battles episode 5. Tonight we have with us Mr. Anthony Fedger. Say hi, Anthony.
Hello.
And we have Shelby will be joining us tonight on short notice.
Hello. Yes.
And of course we have co-founder of Final Save Points, Rick.
Hello, everybody.
And being our fact checker is our last champion, Logan.
Hello.
All right. Well, tonight we have a good bunch of questions. We got stuff like best genre jumper, worst collector's item, and worst game gimmick of all time. There's a ton of them. But for our first question, we'll go a little bit easy. Very polarizing question. What is better, Rock Band or Guitar Hero? And Anthony, I will let you go first. Go ahead.
Um, haven't played much of both, but I would say Rock Band,
Okay.
just because it's a group game. If I'm playing a game with a group, that would be it. Because Guitar Hero is more of a by yourself type game, and to me, those type of games are better with a group of friends.
All right. Anything else to add?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
Okay. Just play off of people. I understand. I remember it was Logan like last time you were just like, I put this out here. Let's see what you say to it. All right. So, Rick, I will let you go second. Which one?
I'll probably have to go with Guitar Hero for a few different reasons. One, without Guitar Hero, there would be no Rock Band. I mean, it pretty much put rhythm gaming on the map as well. It really got it into the industry and made it really big. And I think another big reason why I choose it too, the first three Guitar Heroes probably have the best song list out of all of those, Rock Band 1, 2, 3, and all the other Guitar Heroes. I mean, if you look at the first Guitar Hero, it probably has the best song list out of all of them by far. It's like almost all metal, all heavy rock, really challenging. It's a very good set list. And I think 2 and 3 went right along with that. And in saying that, I think Rock Band is good as far as, yeah, you have all the other peripherals, and you have, basically you can have up to 4 or 5 people. But in a way, I think it kind of killed it. I mean, yeah, the first Rock Band hit really big, but if you look at the songs after Rock Band became popular, the songs are not as good in my opinion. They're more poppy. They're not very good for that type of game. And I think that really it kind of killed it off and made it very monotonous. I mean, there's a slew of DLC that you can download for like Rock Band 2 or Rock Band 3, but like the core set list that you get from the beginning are just really crap in my opinion. And Guitar Hero kind of did go under as far as when Rock Band started coming around because of that. But just because everybody just because everybody likes it doesn't mean it's a good thing. And I think that it really kind of killed it off. And the two fighting back and forth obviously made the whole thing go downhill to where they're just now coming up with another one. But I think even like the exclusive, basically expansion packs that Guitar Hero had. I mean, you had Van Halen, Metallica, and AC/DC, so that's some pretty good expansion add-ons compared to what Rock Band had. I mean, they had like the Beatles. Who really cares about that? But so in my opinion, I think Guitar Hero is just a lot better. And as far as like, I know you can play drums and bass and guitar and have somebody sing and all that with Rock Band, but honestly, the whole time that was out, I can only think of maybe 5 or 6 times that I actually played with a whole entire band versus Guitar Hero. It's just a lot easier. We only have 2 people, just like you and your buddies over, and you're playing. Or even if you have a third person, you can kind of play King of the Hill and pass the rock to the next person if somebody beats whoever. So.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Shelby.
My choice would have to be Guitar Hero as well. And besides what Rick said, I think also besides just multiplayer, Guitar Hero you could do single player a lot because with expert and just hard mode. It gives you a real challenge with the guitar, so it kind of gives you something you can beat. And I just feel like it's also a good single-player game besides multiplayer.
All right. Also, just for clarification, since we have two, for Shelby and Rick, what you can do is you can decide to make sure that your arguments are on different points, even though you're both choosing Guitar Hero, and I'll count separate, or you can join together, but you only get half points each. How you feeling? If you join together, Anthony will get 2 points if he wins. Just to let you know, throwing it out there now.
Well, we could do it. I don't care, Rick. We could do it separate or together. It's up to you.
Let's fly solo.
Okay.
All right. Continue, Shelby, if you have anything more to say.
All right, just a second. Let me see if I have any more to say. Well, the main focus is, I feel like with Guitar Hero, besides multiplayer, like I said before, you can do single player. Like, in case someone's not over, you still have that play value that you can play by yourself. Like, you can unlock songs and try to beat record or stuff like that. And I feel like Rock Band is more focused on, like you said, playing with your friends, which is nice and everything, but when you're by yourself and your friends are around, I really wouldn't want to play Rock Band by myself.
Okay, all right. Anthony, what do you have to say to all that? You're up against the wall a little bit.
Yeah, it's alright. I agree with a lot of it. I mean, they're both party games, and I feel like Rock Band's the more of the party game. But I do like the fact that you get to download music as well. So I downloaded the Deftones set list, and I was able to download some of, my favorite band songs to play on Rock Band. So I thought it allowed you to play the game however you wanted to with the songs you would like. And I agree that Guitar Hero has better set list, but I like the fact that you can download your own songs.
All right. Rick, Shelby?
I think one of the things that Shelby missed on too is when she was talking about individual experience. I think Guitar Hero 3 really did something awesome when they had the Guitar Hero battles against like Slash and Tom Morello and all of that. And then they really went away from that, and they shouldn't have, because that was really unique and a fun experience. Because I remember when I was trying to beat the Tom Morello and expert, I'm like, damn it, Tom, why can I not beat you? This is so annoying, because he totally destroys you. But as far as Anthony's point as the DLC, I see what you're saying as far as it's fun to download your favorite bands and stuff, but to me it's just a money grab. I don't like DLC that much. So yeah, there's a slew of other bands and stuff, but I could never bring myself to download any of this stuff. I mean, that's why it was really nice to have the Guitar Hero Metallica. It's everything I ever wanted, and it cost me like $20 to get it all. So I didn't have to go and download, because I'm pretty sure a lot of those packs on Rock Band and Guitar Hero, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know for sure, it was like $8 or $9. So
Logan, fact check it. All right, continue.
I'm keeping a little tally of frowning faces.
All right, so anybody else have anything else to say to it? Anthony, any last rebuttals?
No, that's it.
All right, I think I'm going to call this, unless, Logan, you have anything to add to it? Nope. All right. I'm going to have to say Guitar Hero, based on you guys' arguments. You just kept rolling it out. I mean, Rock Band, you had good points with, I think the DLC actually was good, and it's versatile that you kind of play it a little more the way you want, but Rock Band they were just, it felt better you can feel better as alone. They had the boss fights, and I think also that without Guitar Hero Rock Band, I think they made a couple points to overshoot it. So, all right, Shelby and Rick, you're at half points.
Ooh, that's further than I thought I would get tonight.
All right, so with that, one of the things about Guitar Hero is that it's one of its things was it kind of had a gimmick with it of the controllers and everything. So the thing is, what is the worst game gimmick? And I will give it to Rick for first one.
The worst game gimmick, I would have to say, it's not so much a particular game, but I think it's pre-ordering and getting exclusive content or exclusive DLC or additional content for certain games on certain consoles. Obviously, the pre-ordering thing kind of speaks for itself. Pre-order this, you get a skin pack and this and that. It's just another way to try to get you to, well, I hate pre-ordering anyway, but it's just another way for them to get a sell and sell as many units as possible right off the bat. And as far as the whole exclusive content for consoles and stuff, like I think the new Arkham Knight, I don't know what it was, but they had something, and I think it was like Scarecrow Trials, or I don't know exactly what it was called.
Different things. I couldn't keep up.
But I'm just like, why are we doing this? Just put it for everybody. It's ridiculous. Like, the only one that ever made sense to me that I remember coming out was Dead Space 2, because it came with Distraction with the Move controllers. Other than that, I mean, 360 didn't really need it unless you're going to use a controller, but it's kind of be annoying with a rail shooter like that. But there's other stuff too, like even like Pokemon. You have here's two different types. You're going to get exclusive Pokemon on this X, and you're going to get exclusive ones on Y. Go trade with your friends. Like, I just think stuff like that is very annoying, and it really gets on my nerves, especially when you have people like brag about it and stuff. I'm like, I don't really give a shit, dude. You got a new skin. I don't really care. That doesn't add anything to the game for me. So.
All right, sounds good. Next, Shelby, what you got?
Worst game gimmick. I picked for the Nintendo DS, which you can pick. I'll probably say the Mario Kart DS was the blowing feature that you can do, and
can you explain that a little bit? What you do for that?
Pretty much, you look at the screen. No.
Wow, Joe,
No.
really?
I actually didn't think about it until Logan started laughing.
No. I'm not even gonna say anything else.
She hates it.
Apparently. But like you blow into it, and like, why do you have to blow into it?
I don't know.
New to the game.
I don't even. Okay, I just looked up about this, and I don't even have the Nintendo DS. I just know I've heard very. Don't go.
I get it.
I think it was actually the Nintendo DS that had that.
Yeah, Nintendo DS had it, and it was just,
there's some 3DS
there's
games
been a lot of
too.
complaints just how for Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart DS, and it was just they had a blowing feature on it and to make you more part of the game, and a lot of people just felt it was really dumb and unnecessary. You're just blowing air on this DS for no reason. The DS microphone.
All right.
There you go.
Anthony, what you got?
Motion controllers. I think
Motion control?
Yeah. I mean, how many people own a Wii and never play them? I mean, I bought a Wii. It's probably sat on my entertainment center for 8 months. Never play it. And even with the motion controllers that came out for 360 and PS3, nobody ever used them or even made any games that really used them. Because most people that play games don't want to have to use too much motion just to play a video game, I think the games nowadays miss what games were back then, where they were just games without all these weird gimmicks.
Alright. So, Rick, what do you have to say to all that?
With the motion controllers, I think the big problem really with the motion controllers is the fact that they would release this stuff and they just would not support it well enough. I think the Move actually was pretty good and probably the best out of all the motion controls, but they just did not support it well enough at all. They didn't give any really good games. I mean, I can't even really think of one. Sorcery was halfway decent, but there was really nothing that, blew me away as far as support for it. I mean, different subject, but I mean, even like the Vita, the PSP, Sony has a bad time of supporting things anyway. But I think at that time, with the Wii was selling as hot as it was, they were just pretty much just like, hey, we need to do something to compete with this. Let's have more motion controls and everything. And then they're like, well, that didn't do anything, so we're just not going to support it anymore. So, but with the Wii, I mean, it's the same thing. How many games is actually on the Wii that you'd want to play? I mean, there's maybe 10 at most if you could really dig. So I just think that with the Wii, there's really not much there that you'd want to play to begin with. And with the other ones, it's not like they really supported it that well. There's really no solid games to go behind it to support it. And with yeah, I'll leave it at that.
With the blowing,
Yeah, that's just, I was not going to say anything.
No.
All right.
That's
Shelby.
my favorite feature.
Oh,
Logan loves the blowing.
Oh, I love it.
He's very good at it.
oh.
You gotta be.
um. Uh.
Shelby just needs more practice.
Come on, man.
Yes. I knew this would happen as soon as I picked that. Like,
Once you saw Logan.
Shelby, your argument blows.
thanks. All right, bye. Yeah, I'm good. No,
Are you good?
I'm back on the.
there.
Seriously,
There's
Shelby,
I don't have an argument against it.
I mean, what about motion controls and pre-order content? You have anything to add on to that?
The pre-order. I agree. Sometimes they can go crazy with the special items you get, like the skins. But I do like some of the pre-order items you can get, like some DLC. I know for Batman Arkham Knight, one of the DLC, you can finally play as Batgirl and adventure with her against Joker. I think that's really interesting, and I would love to play that because I know she's never been able to be a playable character before, and I'm a big fan for Batgirl and her story, especially because she'll be facing Joker. So I feel like some DLC is great to kind of not sell the game, but help bring attention to it. But I do agree the skins aren't the greatest thing to, not a good gimmick to bring attention to games. And
Alright.
that's all I have.
Anthony, feel free to rebuttal any of that.
Oh, I'm okay with pre-orders because you want to reward your fans for purchasing the game before it comes out. And DLC's fine as long as it's worth the amount. If you're spending $5, maybe $10 for DLC, for characters or for skins, I think that's to each its own. But I think all the pre-order stuff, is fine because more than that, you're gaining more than you are losing when you're getting the pre-order content.
Okay.
For instance, like Battlefield, you always get the extra 5 or 6 maps than you would if you didn't pre-order it.
Fair enough. Anything else? All right. So, just clarify. Is there anything you have to add to this, Logan, before I call it?
I don't believe that Batgirl was exclusive content. Like, I think that was a DLC pack.
Was it pre-order? I think that was more what she was getting at.
It looks like it came packaged with a season pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they might be planning on releasing some subsequent stuff. And then the blowing into the microphone was that was actually started on the DS, but she backtracked on that one. So
yeah, it's actually something I've seen in a bunch of games. They've done it. But based on the arguments, and there's part of me that almost wants to give it to Shelby for blowing because no one really argued against it and everyone just laughed at it because of how stupid it was. But
That sounds
I'm gonna
stupid.
have to give it to motion controls and mostly because of Rick, because you kind of helped his argument a bit. So
Yeah, if it wasn't taken, I was gonna argue for.
yeah, so Anthony, you get a point.
Hooray!
All right. So with that, we're going to go to something that's a little bit different, and we're going to do best genre jumper. And for those who don't understand, this would be like a game that is a sequel or an offshoot of a series that is something that is totally different from the previous games. So with that, Shelby, you get the first
No,
run.
don't start with me. Don't start with
Too
me.
bad, it's your turn.
Shit. Okay.
I
The
have
game
something.
I was Catherine. And I wish I had more time to look
Okay.
at some more stuff for it.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say Catherine for now, and they
Okay.
can rebuttal me, and I can answer with wisdom.
I'll be nice
There
and I
you
will
go.
help you out a tad bit. In what series? This might actually hurt you if you don't know. What series would it be off of?
Isn't it Persona? Right? Am I right?
Okay, you got it.
Okay, I remember because I.
Close enough. Close enough.
All right.
That's the. Oh my God! How many spin-offs has that game had?
Well, technically, Persona is a spin-off itself, but
Yeah, it's like was it Shin Megami Tensei?
Shin
Persona?
Megami Tensei, yes. All right. Anthony, what is yours?
Mario. I mean, Mario's hit every genre, if you think about it.
Do you have give me a specific example?
Like, say, like Super Mario to Smash Brothers to any sports game, because they pretty much done all the sports. And then racing, even in strategy, if you want to count the Mario Party games as a strategy game. But Mario's probably the most jumper there is.
Definitely a lot of different genres in the Mario series. Anything else to add on to that?
No, that's
Not yet? Okay. All right, Rick, what do you got?
I went with Castlevania Lords of Shadow, the first one, for a few different reasons. You know, typically Castlevania is known as a 2D kind of platforming, challenging game, and I know there was 3D games of Castlevania in the past, those of which we will not mention.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all agree they suck.
So I think it was actually the very first one that was actually successful, and it actually added a whole nother chapter to the story. You know, the environments of the game was just beautiful. They had fantastic voice acting, which wasn't really something we never really had in the genre or in the series either. I mean, they had like Patrick Stewart, so him alone. But also, you know, the story was really good, and it made to me, it completely changed the series and where it had been going, because you had the little spin-offs on the DS, and then even Lament of Innocence and that crap on the other one. But none of them really progressed the story anymore, and it kind of rebooted it since it is a prequel, but it kind of took everything from gameplay standpoint and from just the series in general with the story and completely changed it. And, you know, it was produced by Kojima was one of the producers. You can definitely tell he had a hand in it and the story. So that's what I went with.
All right. Sounds good. I mean, these are all, great games, of course. I think. So, Shelby,
Okay.
what do you?
All right. Reason I feel like Catherine is the best, because it was a kind of different take on the series. It was more puzzle game, which I enjoy puzzle games, and with Catherine, you also your decisions made a big crud. Okay, whatever decisions you made that decided your ending of your game, which you guys could end up with 6 different endings, while the Persona games are more RPG games.
Mhm.
So
And
that's
also, has
why.
everyone here played Persona?
I have not.
No?
3 and 4.
A
Huh?
long time ago.
Long time ago?
Yeah.
Who did everyone end up with? We gotta ask. Logan?
Catherine?
Which Catherine?
uh,
Yeah.
Harris. They both suck. Erica was
Rick?
the better choice.
Oh, come on, you know me, Joe. You know which one I went with.
I know. I ended up not getting either one because they both pissed me off.
The shrew or the
So I'm
I
with
have
Logan
the
on that
one
one.
with the glasses.
You got the one with the glasses? You would.
Yep.
Alright, continue.
Um, but it's a really interesting game, and it's actually I like how they do the puzzle aspects of it. It's very not violent, but very interesting how they do the design for it. Um, I just remember that was like my first game I played at college, and that was interesting. But besides that, that's
And
really it.
of course, it was Janet's copy, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, she would.
Yep.
Alright. What about the other ones? Do you have anything to say against them?
Um,
With
not
Mario, you
really.
can pretty much just yell at something. There's a lot to choose from.
um, I don't know. Like the Mario games, like the sports games, I feel like they're nothing really special. They're just sports games. Like, yeah, it's the Mario characters. They're very familiar, but pretty much like you can just play the Wii Sports. It's the same thing except Mario characters. And I was fine with just playing with the Wii Sports. Um, and that's really all I could say about that.
Okay. Anthony.
Just thinking of more like if you think about just 64 wise. I mean, you have Mario 64. The Mario Party games just came out. Smash Brothers. Dr. Mario. I mean, Mario's done it all. I mean, he hasn't hit one genre. He's hit them all. I think that those games have hit every genre, so I would consider it the best genre jumper.
Okay, but like, what makes? How about this? Just kind of help with put the arguments with the other ones. What makes them like special for like the other genre jumpers? Like what did it accomplish from jumping?
Of hitting every audience, if you think about it, because some people are just, fighting type game fans. Some people are sports fans. My uncle doesn't play games unless it's a sports game. So,
Right.
He likes the Mario Golf.
I guess. Let me help refine this. My question to you, like basically, but for those single games, like give me an example of like one that did its genre really well.
I'd say Smash Brothers. I mean,
Okay. Well, yeah. Explain. That's what I'm trying to get out of you.
what's the only other reason you would buy a Nintendo nowadays other than buying the Smash Brothers games? Because they don't come out with the Zelda games really as much as they used to. And I think the last Zelda game was Two Swords, and that was when Wii first came out.
All right. Anything else? I think there's a no. Nick or Rick. Sorry. I don't know why I said Nick. Sorry.
It's alright, it rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have something for both of them.
No.
For one, with Catherine, we'll get to that in a minute, but my question is, how is it related to Persona? And for Mario, if you're going to pick Smash Brothers specifically, that's not a Mario game, that's just a mashup of Nintendo characters in a fighting game. And if you're talking about all Mario games, that's more of a gimmick really than genre jumping because it's just a money grab. Like, hey, let's just throw Mario in here because it'll sell. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. You said did you have more for Catherine, or no?
I'm just curious of how it's connected to Persona. How is it even remotely connected?
Shelby, do you know this? I do.
I'm
Logan
looking.
might.
Let's see here.
No, looking it up.
No, I do not know how it's related because, yeah, I don't know.
All right. Points off for Shelby. I'll tell you. Basically, it takes place in the same universe as Persona, and Vincent actually can be seen in the bar in Persona 3.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that at some point. Damn it.
All right. So, I guess now. Sorry, I think Shelby, you got knocked out on that one.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
okay.
down between Mario and Lords of Shadow. I'll let you guys have last points. Anthony, can you explain why the jumps were better for Mario than it was for Castlevania?
I haven't played the new Castlevania. I just remember the 64 version of Castlevania not being that good.
Yeah, that's very true.
The NES versions were absolutely great, but I couldn't say for sure for the new ones. I definitely on my to-do list. But I'd say, Mario has its following. I mean, probably one of the largest game characters. And, the original Smash Brothers was Super Mario Smash Brothers.
Oh, I can already fact check on that one. It was not Mario Smash Brothers.
It wasn't?
No. And so Rick wins!
Yay!
Lords of Shadow. Yeah, I think it was just mostly you didn't. I know you put out like a bunch of games, but yeah, I feel like you didn't focus enough on like what made any of those games really good game for that genre. That's what I was trying to get out of you, Anthony, and like where Rick he really explained like what made that game different and special. And Shelby, you're doing all right, except that you couldn't remember how it was actually tied in.
Called you out on that one.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, Catherine.
And since of course these games normally are sequels or spin-offs, what game that doesn't have a sequel is a great game and probably deserves one? So I'm going to go with Anthony on that one. Game that deserves a sequel.
I don't know if this game necessarily deserves a sequel, but it definitely needs a HD remastered version, but is Freedom Fighters. And the reason why I picked Freedom Fighters is because it's probably the most unique game.
And also just clarify for him, I let it go because we want to see more of it, is what he was argued for me, for him to let that. So, all right, go ahead, Anthony.
Well, I'm saying that it's a unique game, and no games after it have really replicated what they did in that game with the where you could build your squads with in the single player, and you could get the 12 guys that control all 12 of those computer guys to fight in the the war. And I thought it was a pretty interesting way to have a game, and it was different. And then the storyline was phenomenal. When I thought it was going to end, it actually, there was still another 2 hours of the game left.
All right. Anything else to add on to it?
Nope.
All right. Rick, let's hear yours.
I'm going to go with Heavenly Sword on the PS3. I have various reasons for that as well, but the one thing that really sticks out to me with that game is probably some of my favorite voice acting out of any game that I've played in the past 10 years. Let me rephrase. big games always have good voice acting, but like an undermined game like this, it's kind of under the radar, had very excellent voice acting for such a not known, well-known game. Because I mean, it had Andy Serkis played as the main antagonist. Uh, the chick that played Noriko did a really good job, and my favorite bad guy out of the whole entire thing was Flying Fox. And basically, the reason I really liked it is there's one scene with this guy where he keeps like changing his face, and I can't think of like the art thing that is, but every time he changes his face, he has like another like voice. He makes his voice different every single time, and it's just phenomenal. All the bad guys in that game were fantastic. It is like similar to like a God of War kind of game, but it had a lot of different things that it did different. One of the things I thought it did actually a really good job of using the 6-axis, because a lot of games back when that was a thing, a lot of games that kind of died off. But I thought that was one of the games I could really remember like using the 6-axis. Like, man, this feels actually really good to use. It had a very strong female lead character, which we don't really see a lot of these days. She was just a total badass, and the whole entire game, she's fighting for her people and she's fighting for her life. That was like the whole thing. It's what made her so strong, and the fact that she just kept on going and going. The art in the game and the environments were phenomenal. Specifically, the one bad guy I was just talking about. I know you're fighting like in this cage-like thing, and there's like a waterfall all the way around it, and it was one of the moments in the game where I'm like, this looks really cool. I really like what they did here. And another thing, and it was a very hard game. It actually was pretty challenging, I thought. The boss battles specifically for that type of game. Like, it wasn't just someone just hack and slash my way through this. Like, you had to change your strategy throughout most of the boss fights. And another reason why I say we need a sequel is the developers actually said that they had a second and third game plan for story-wise if the game was successful. Of course, it didn't sell the way Sony wanted it to, so they never moved forward, but there was actually story. They already actually had it ready to go. So,
All right. Shelby, what you got?
Alright, the game I pick is The Wolf Among Us. It's a Telltale game, and I feel like it definitely deserves a sequel because, one, the game is kind of like you're solving what's happening to these fables in Fabletown. And so it's kind of like a mystery, and of course you have to make important decisions throughout the game. And I feel like it could definitely become a sequel just with a new mystery going on, with Big Beast trying to solve it. So I think it's possible for sure. And The Wolf Among Us is just so fascinating because I had no clue where it was taking me, which I enjoyed a lot. I couldn't tell who was the bad guy the whole time. I had to figure it out myself. Like with Bigby, I had to figure out what was going on and why are these people dying, and that just kept me on my toes, which I haven't had that feeling for a while in some of the games I played. I just couldn't tell what was going on. And then the art style was very interesting. I enjoyed the style they did with it, and it's just a really fascinating game. It stood above some of the other Tell games. Especially, I feel like it was a little bit better than maybe like Walking Dead Season 2. I feel like it kind of shot up above that. But yeah, I think it definitely deserves a sequel, and it's totally possible for it to come because it's a mystery, and there's always other mysteries you can solve.
All right. So, Anthony, what do you have to say to these guys and lady?
Those games, had similar games that, were like those games before. What I like about Freedom Fighters, like I said before, was the uniqueness. And, the whole Russia versus USA, thing that's been going on forever. Of course, the great America speech in the middle of the game. But, it's a good game. I mean, I can always go back and play it. It's a great replay game. Some games are good games, but you can never replay them. I think that's got a great replay value to it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask a similar thing to everyone else, so be prepared. What would you do if you were to remake or bring a sequel to it? What would you do for that? Like, what would be the new thing for it?
Uh, I don't know, because you don't want to make it too repetitive. Like how Fear 1 and Fear 2 seem too similar to one another. Like, for Freedom Fighters, it was about one event. I don't know what event you would go from, with it. So I really don't have a good answer for it. But for the remastering, it would just be simply just taking the game, making an HD version, and not screwing it up.
All right, Rick, to you.
The same question or the rebuttal?
Rebuttal and that question you can add on to it.
Well, for one, I couldn't understand what he was saying about Freedom Fighters. What kind of game is that exactly? I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Action game.
Just an action game. I mean, what
Anthony,
was
I'll let
special?
you
What was
explain.
different about it? Yeah, because I couldn't hear him.
It's a third-person shooter, but in the game you could gather, other, computer guys to follow you and fight with you in the game, and you got to pretty much choose where they got to stay or fight while you go do, other parts of the mission. So I thought it was pretty unique in the way they did it.
Fair
All
enough.
right.
So Baldur's Gate shooter.
Kind of.
Gotcha. Well, I'll just tackle the question. Honestly, I could see, like, if they made a Heavenly Sword the way they had. Well, the way the game ended, obviously the developer had something in mind, but I feel like they could actually do some kind of genre jump with the game. I'm kind of feeling the Witcher vibe from it, just kind of that, like, weird RPG, because the way they had their boss battles anyway, you had to switch up the tactics, like I said, and I feel like they could probably do something with that. As far as, with this Witcher, you have different stances and things that you could use, just completely changing it, making it some kind of RPG, especially with how story rich the game was anyway. I feel like they could pull something like that off. It may not be your 50, 60, 40 hour game, but a good 15 or 20 hours, I think it could definitely pull it off, and it would fit right too.
All right. Anything to say to the other two about their games?
I don't know enough about Freedom Fighters, honestly, to really say anything, so I can't really do anything with that. But with The Wolf Among Us, the one thing I will say is I'm fairly certain, as successful as it was, that it will have a sequel, just for the fact that Telltale is just riding red hot right now, and the fact that it's based on comics. I mean, there's plenty of stuff there for them to take to make a sequel with anyway, so.
Also, just in the comments, we are having someone saying that Freedom Fighters is a good game, and they are sad that it is not on Steam right now.
Wasn't it EA? Isn't that why?
It was EA. Oh yeah, that would be why. I don't think it's on Origin either. But all right, Shelby.
We got Kanan 2 instead.
Wait, what was that?
It sounds like that. I'm just checking some of the page stuff here, and it looks like they had planned a sequel.
For which?
Eidos decided they were going to work on Kanan Lynch instead.
Oh, IDOS.
Yeah,
IDOS.
whatever they're called.
Sorry. All right. Shelby.
Okay. Well, to answer the question, like, what was the question you asked, Joe? Like, what would make the sequel better, or
Like, what would be done for the sequel?
well,
I mean, you
multiple
kind of
things.
gave me a little. You kind of gave me a little bit, and that's why I kind of went with that question.
Yeah.
But you can
Like-
expand on it if you want.
Okay. Well, like I said, it was Bigby solving mysteries. It could be like anything. Like he can try to find another murder, or uh, try to find a missing person, or something like that. Or even maybe someone's trying to find Bigby. Maybe he goes missing, or he's maybe accused of maybe killing Little Red Riding Hood, or something like that.
So you switch up
So,
character then?
yeah,
you
maybe.
Interesting.
Or maybe even I know the farm was a major part, like mentioned in Wolf Among Us. Maybe we can go to the farm and solve a murder there, and you get to be introduced to a new place, but it has been mentioned by the Wolf Among Us, so a new area.
Mhm.
So,
All
but
right.
it can tons of options there.
All right. And anything to say to the other two? I'm pretty sure you
Well,
played Heavenly Sword, right?
yes, I have played Heavily Sword. And the motion controls, I hated those at the beginning a lot because I could not figure it out at first. And originally, Rick, when you first started talking about Heavenly Sword, you were really focused on the voice acting. And like, yes, they're very good voice actors, but of course, they can always get that same amount of voice actors in a different game. At first, you were just kind of focused on that in the beginning. So, like, I feel like that doesn't. They are good voice actors, but I don't feel like that makes it the best game. But you went on to more of the other stuff, so.
Well, the reason I was saying that is, for me, it really stuck out to me because a lot of the games that are kind of under the radar, normally you don't know it for good voice acting. It's just kind of so-so. It's not really that big. But I thought they did a really good job just with all aspects of that game. And the voice acting, for me, it was just really surprising for a game like that never really went anywhere or did anything, for having no-name people. Well, I said Andy Serkis, but I mean pretty much everybody else was no-name people, and I thought they did a really good job with it. Like, they fit all the characters really good. It didn't really seem very immature or didn't feel out of place. Like, everything fit really well with what they did. They did a good job of voice acting to how the characters acted. It wasn't just somebody that came in. It was good voice actors. It was just they fit the roles really well.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I do have one more thing to say.
Okay, go for
Besides
it.
the boss battle, like I agree that there was a lot of different techniques you got to use to fight the boss battles. But during your travels to get to the boss battles, I felt like a lot of it was just the same motion over and over again. And then when you get to the boss battle, you do have to use the different techniques. But when you're fighting just the lackeys, I feel like you're just using the same moves to get through. So I feel like there is some, like, not boredom, but kind of repeat motions when you're getting to boss to
Repetitive.
boss. Yeah, repetitive.
Okay.
Oh.
Was that me? Someone messaged me. I think Anthony might have crashed. Anyways,
He concedes.
he's stuck. All right, Logan, you have anything to add to that? Also, can you look up really fast? Do they have Wolf Among Us 2 planned? Has it been officially announced or anything?
I don't think it's been officially announced, but a lot of people are making noise for it.
Okay.
There's noise.
I think based on the arguments, I think I'm going to have to actually give this to Shelby because of the fact that she kind of. I think Rick, you explained a sequel, but you kind of went a little bit off topic, and I think
The voice acting was so good.
yeah, you kind of were more on the voice acting, but also you were talking about like a genre jump, and I think if that's a game we want a sequel for, we're going to want more of the same. I think Shelby explained how you could just keep going with the same formula and it works. So I'm going to have to give it to her. And I mean, Freedom Fighters, like I think Anthony just kind of he didn't give a good idea for like a sequel, like kind of build up. It's a great game. It is a great game, no doubt. But Shelby, you get a point.
Woo!
So right now, Shelby and Rick are tied at 1.5. So with that, hold on, let me check, make sure Anthony get back in. I don't know, Logan. Do you have anything else to add to that while we're waiting? No.
Nope.
All right. So with that, I think one of the things that was really good about Wolf Among Us also is the fact of its its setting, the area of New York City, of Fabletown. So we're gonna go with best city in a video game. Who actually started last? I totally lost count. Backtracker. Who started last? We don't remember. All right. Well, Rick, was it you?
I honestly don't remember.
I think
I'm
it
gonna
was,
go- I think it was Anthony as well.
yeah.
Yeah, he's restarting his phone. So I'm gonna go with you, Rick. Best city in a video game.
I'm going to go with Citadel from Mass Effect. Well, for one, it's just an amazing city in general. The engineering behind it and everything that it is, it's just fantastic. It's a very good original idea. I feel like it was one of, from, what do I want to say, like, from the PS3 to 360, it's kind of now, it's one of the first cities that was actually felt like a really good true sci-fi city. Like, it had flying cars, it had aliens, everybody was living together. It was, so I felt like that was one of the big things for it, and I think that the scale of the city was something that we hadn't really seen before. I mean, obviously, you couldn't really explore a whole lot, but the thing was freaking huge, and it was on a very massive scale, and it had a dual purpose as far as the relay jumping for the Reaper. Spoiler alert, but we never really got to see anything from that ever. So, I'll leave it at that for right now.
All right, Shelby, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna say Rapture from Bioshock.
It's a good pick.
And yeah, and even though we really only see, kind of the ruins of Rapture, we know what an amazing city it was originally just by walking around in the ruins. You look around, you see the gels, and you see the people that would have been nice before they went crazy. And let's see here. What else? And they have very interesting technology. They start developing some high technology down there before everything went wrong. That's really all I have.
Alrighty. Well, wait. Do we have Anthony yet? No. All right. So, just so since we're waiting on him, do either of you had a rebuttal to either or city?
Mm.
All right.
Oh, he's back.
Shelby's like, oh, thank you.
Could be tough.
Anthony, can you hear us? Maybe. Maybe.
Oh, shit.
I see green screen. Not the good kind.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Oh, there you are. Okay.
can you hear me?
He's green.
Yes, we can.
Good.
You're very green, though.
Yeah, I think my
Take your, what, your phone? I'm guessing phone.
He's dead, Jim.
Oh, no. I'm a doctor, Jim, not a IT person.
This ain't going that well.
Alright.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Okay. Someone sounds like they're on old-timey radio. I think that was Logan, actually. It's weird. Anyway, so, Anthony, are you there? Maybe. Technical difficulties. I hate it when this happens. Anyways, well, you two, argue.
Go, Rick.
Well, I know you both have played these games, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember the faults. Well, I really can't say anything since my city was destroyed, but I was going to say the Citadel took damage in the first game.
It took a lot
So
of
it didn't
damage.
last long.
Wait, do we have Anthony back?
Yeah, think so.
Okay. What city do you pick? Help these two out.
Please.
Which one was it?
Best video game in this, or city in a video game, I bet.
I chose Arkham City.
Arkham City. Alright.
Only because I was a Batman fan forever. And games for Batman have sucked for 15, 20 years. And it was a huge level.
Whatever. NES Batman.
Well, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, you're still right. 20 years. Alright, continue. Go ahead. Is there any more?
I just liked how they, I mean, if you didn't know what Gotham City looked like, you got a really good visual on it. And Arkham City, I thought the graphics and just the whole layout of the city was phenomenal. You know, for the longest time, I thought Vice City was, you know, a huge, you know, map to play. It was one of my favorites for a while until I started playing Batman. And I was very skeptical playing Batman games since they've been banned for so long. But, you know, Arkham City was huge compared to anything I've ever played.
Alright. So, how about this, Rick? Shelby, you have anything to say about the others now? Rick, you are there, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just make sure. Didn't lose you. I can't see your face, though. Alright, let me help you guys out. What makes your city such a special city, though, over, like, the other person's cities? So, Rick, I'll let you go first on that.
Citadel was really like a centerpiece for the whole universe and the universe of Mass Effect itself. It pretty much started. I don't know what I use here. Diplomacy between races. The calendar started pretty much when the diplomacy started for the Mass Effect universe. I mean, it is a centerpiece for all the mythos, so I'll say that to begin with.
Alright, Shelby, Rapture.
It's an awesome, massive underwater city. And,
That is cool.
Yeah. And originally it was supposed to be a paradise to free all people from a parasite. Of course, that didn't work. So it's a big underwater city where you have to go escape and hopefully not die from crazy people. There you go. That's why it's the best city.
Alright, Anthony, Arkham City.
There's probably at least 40 buildings you go into and explore, you know, for about half hour to an hour, exclusively for the Riddler trophies. But but I thought, you know, even with the buildings and stuff in the city, you know, they did a really good job on, you know, with the detail on the inside of the buildings as well. I just thought it was just done phenomenally.
All right.
My only problem with Arkham City is pretty much everything is already laid out there for him, though. Like, it's pretty much pages to life, but nothing's really original, unlike Rapture or Citadel. Those two are all original ideas, completely different, whereas Arkham City is just kind of a page to life.
All right. Any Logan, what are you doing?
Fact checking.
Radio. Anyways, Anthony, you have anything to say to that?
No rebuttal.
No rebuttal. All right. Is there anything you got to add on to this, Logan? Because I'm gonna call it now. I think.
I can jump on this bandwagon a little bit because I'll say I'm going to attack Rapture.
No!
The city was founded in like 49 or whatever, and it was like officially considered collapsed in like 1960s. Like it is a city that lasted not even a lifetime. Like the place
It was established in 1946.
Built it. The people that built it weren't even like they didn't even have plans for them. Just like, well, thanks for building the city. Fuck you guys. And like it's like terrible city. And Citadel City is too big. It's not a city. It's a space station. And each ward is different. It's like 5 cities put together. Come on, man.
All right, I'm okay with this because I was gonna say Citadel, to be honest. Just because I think Rick, you argued how it felt living, it felt alive with all the different species and flying cars. And it was huge and it was a centerpiece.
It worked as an excellent centerpiece for all 3 games, and then
Arkham,
you got to see a different piece.
Yeah. Actually, Arkham City, I think, Anthony, you had a good argument, but I think Rick knocked you down with the originality and whatnot for it. Though it is, as I said, it's a well laid out city. There's a lot there, but I think the living city and it's kind of almost a place you want to go. Where Shelby, the one thing I want to knock you down for is you could have argued Art Deco all day, and you didn't.
I was waiting for it. That's why I was quiet.
One thing about Arkham City, which
it's a
I
prison.
didn't say anything. What?
It's a prison. It's not a city.
Yeah, you could argue that too.
Yeah.
Well, Arkham City, when I played it, I totally enjoyed exploring the city because if you look close enough, there's some hidden stuff throughout the game. Like at some point, you can find where Bruce's parents died. That was an awesome Easter egg if you could find in City. But yeah, I was gonna say that just to throw that.
I think
in
what
there.
we're all getting at is what the best thing about Arkham City is they use 100% of all the fucking map there is. They use everything. And that is what I've always liked about the Batman series. And even in Arkham Asylum, you go all over the damn place. And that's one thing I don't like about the Batmobile. End of story.
So
best
go
city
ahead.
in Balmora from Morrowind.
Anyways,
There's a
and also
canal.
someone's calling me out because they know me, and no, it is not because Mass Effect is one of my all-time favorite games. I think Rick actually made a good argument for it.
Yeah, he did. I love Mass Effect too, so I couldn't figure out an argument against
Honestly, you could have used that to attack him because in the first Mass Effect game, I was so sick of Citadel. I hated going back to Citadel. Citadel.
But all right, we have one last question, and we can end up with a tie here, depending on who wins. But the last question is worst collector's item in a game or for a game, and this would be, for like big pack that you would get, like the $90 collector's edition or whatever, just to kind of explain to everybody. So with that, Shelby.
Oh God, this is
know,
the
sorry.
question I have the most difficult with. I don't buy this stuff.
I don't know.
Well, pick one that you really hated.
Okay. Well, the one I picked was the Batman Arkham Origin package. The reason why I picked it, because I know one of the big things that was part of the deal was the skins. Skins everywhere. And like we mentioned earlier in the show, skins are cool and everything, but I feel like it's not worth a lot of money.
It's a really heavy Batman episode.
But that's really it.
So pretty much it came with skins.
Yeah, well, there was, I feel like that was the main focus of the package, was skins.
Why the hell is this game $100 on Amazon?
For what?
Arkham Origins.
Really?
Collector's edition.
Scalpers.
Too much money. There you go. That's another reason.
Okay. Alright. Anyways, Anthony, what do you pick?
I was torn between, but I'm gonna just go with the Skylanders Wii.
Okay.
It was a third generation Wii, and I couldn't even find a way for somebody to just take it.
Alright, so explain what it was.
Well, Owen got it because you got 3 exclusive characters with the Wii, and I was like, well, and they, from what I remember, they advertised that Wii working best with Skylanders, and it was terrible because they got rid of the whole back plate where you could plug in the old school controllers like the GameCube and stuff like that. I just thought it was
Got rid of
terrible
backwards
collector's
compatibility.
item.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, just writing notes. Continue.
Really, after getting the exclusives, I just pretty much end up selling it.
Okay. What were the exclusive Skylanders?
I cannot remember for the life of me because it was 8 years ago.
They're all sitting on his shelf. He couldn't tell you which one came with.
Alright.
Got them all, though.
Do you have them all, Anthony? Are you a big Skylanders fan?
I'm not a huge fan of the actual game. I'm just a fan of the, just the pieces itself.
You want a Spyro, didn't you?
They do look good.
Spyro's pretty badass.
Let's see. It's Spyro, Trigger Happy, and Gil Grunt.
Alright. Rick, what you got for me?
I went with the Resident Evil 6 Collector's Edition, the Premium Collector's Edition to be specific. One, we didn't even need a Resident Evil 6 to begin with because, well, it sucked. But ultimately, this was just another huge cash grab by Capcom. So, I'll just start out by saying the Premium Edition was $1,000 itself, or it was over $1,000. And you basically got, I think it was like 4 cell phone cases or some kind of cases and an authentic Leon leather jacket that he wore in the game. You're basically paying $1,000 for a leather jacket. I mean, it's absolutely bullshit. And I think they only made I want to say 5,000 of these things, and I can't believe they sold one. And I think there was actually a pretty healthy demand for them in the beginning. But I just can never see anybody paying $1,000 for a shitty game, a stupid jacket, and some cell phone cases.
I'm trying to find this jacket on Amazon right now.
I found it. Well, I found a picture of the jacket. If you just go to Google and go to images.
Yeah.
1,300 bucks.
I looked at it. I looked at it on eBay, and they're selling for like $100 to $200. So they're definitely get their money's worth out of that.
All right. So, so rebuttals. Shelby.
Biohazard.
Okay. Well, there has to be some people who like the Resident Evil 6 game.
$1,000.
Hey, people have $1,000, I guess, to spend on a jacket.
I gotta look this up. This Resident Evil 6 jacket.
Yeah. $1,000.
1,300 bucks. I seen it.
Yeah, I knew it was over 1,000, but I wasn't sure, so I just said
All right.
1,000.
Where's my damn? All right. I'm gonna screen share this thing for people.
I hope you got it. I'm looking at.
Resident Evil 6 jacket. I mean, this thing.
I want to see this.
I mean, it's okay.
Is it $1,000? Is it a fucking $1,000?
It has some nice stripes on it. It has the big pockets. You can put a lot of stuff in there, and it has there's like 6
you're
pockets
right.
on the front.
I've never seen a leather jacket like that before. Never seen a leather jacket with pockets.
I'm sure a customized jacket costs less.
You could probably get one tailor-made for less.
So for anyone, just make sure, this is it right here. This is the jacket.
Oh, it's amazing!
Can't believe you wore it in the game.
I can't believe you wore it in the game. Alright.
I don't recognize that jacket. Who wore that?
It was Leon.
It was Leon's, yeah.
Wait, from 4?
6.
That's 6.
6.
I think you wore it in 4 too, right?
Well, he had a jacket at the beginning, and then he lost it halfway when he was in the middle of kicking ass, I guess.
Was Resident Evil... Oh my god, I missed a Resident Evil game.
Wait, there was a 5?
Like I played 4, and then I played 5.
Oh, you didn't even know 6 existed.
I didn't even know 6 was real.
Exactly. You didn't need it.
Okay.
Was it bad?
Yeah,
Well, if you were
I
allowed
think
to
we
have
can
it.
all universally say it was not a good game.
It was bad.
Uh-oh.
I mean, 5
Operation Raccoon
wasn't
City
good, but it
was
had
bad,
like
too.
co-op, so that
Oh.
kind of like smoothed it over.
What was that, Anthony?
Operation Raccoon City. It was
yeah?
absolutely terrible.
Alright, anyway, Shelby, do you have anything else to add on to that?
I don't think I can add anything. I think we all kind of destroyed that.
Alright, anybody can argue against that.
Yeah, I can't. That's pretty bad.
And that's it. We have a winner. Rick is our winner for this week's episode.
The leather jacket edition.
Yeah. I think Rick can drop the mic now on that one.
Boom.
Yeah, I think we're all $1,000. That is
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I couldn't find the actual original sale price for it, so I was just like, okay, $1,000.
Even so, it is really expensive.
Yeah.
I'm finding it for a little over $100, but
I could see it.
it's still. I mean, for a leather jacket, it's not terrible, but yeah, the premium edition comes with the jacket. Hold on.
Sir, this is a quality jacket. All right.
Yeah,
These are like virgin cows that have never seen.
This thing better last me 10 years.
It's like they had to kill all the calves. Japan had to go without beef for 10 years. to make
$1,000 it was. Found it on
Yeah.
GameSpot.
Ugh.
Well, I'll be damned. All right. Well, so for that, I want to thank all of you, of course, for participating. Of course, Logan was a great fact checker, and we always love having you on, Logan.
Oh yeah.
And Congrats to Rick. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on. It was fun. You had some good arguing.
Sorry for the video drop.
Oh, it's all right. It happens.
I couldn't fact
We're
very
doing it
much.
live. Fuck it. We're doing it live, okay?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Right.
And Shelby, thank you for the late notice.
No
And
problem.
as always, you can follow me at Lemon Merchant 1. Now I changed my Twitter handle, so it's finally something normal. Of course, follow us on Final Save Point. We have our Facebook page, our website, of course. Here, subscribe if you like the videos. Anybody got Twitter handles they want to throw out there or anything?
I think mine's just A Feniger.
At A Feniger.
Yep.
All right, and I'll put it down in the description because he has a hard name to spell. If you don't know what it is.
Just let me
All right.
double check that real quick. I never use my Twitter.
All right, Rick, is there anything you would like to plug, anything you want to put out there, you think people should play, get their hands on anything, since you are the winner?
No, I just want to congratulate Team USA and the International of Dota this past
Yes,
weekend.
everyone. Yeah, finally, an international, an American team won.
They literally had to beat 4 Chinese teams to get there. I was so excited. They got knocked down out of the upper bracket, and I was pissed, but
Up is ours.
but they finally pulled through and dominated in the finals. It was the best thing, and I don't know why, but every time they would do something amazing in the background, everybody would chant USA, USA, and I got so much pride out of that, and I just loved it.
Also, yeah, Anthony's is A Fenninger 83, or was that 83?
83, yep.
Yeah, okay. So, follow him there. Also, Rick, you get the choice. Do you want to be our guest host next week, or do you want to just fact check?
I think I might try. I'll host, actually.
You want to host? Okay, make sure you
Yeah,
get your
I'll host.
webcam.
Oh, I will have it. No worries.
Okay. And of course, thank you, Logan, for fact checking. And hopefully everyone enjoyed. And see you next week. Bye bye.
Alright.
Really hoping some more people would say things that were wrong. Like, every now and then I'm like, oh, fact check. Okay, it's right. Like, and then I would just listen.